I, m39, owe this subreddit some thanks. So I owe you a general thanks. I'm not sure if general, thank you, threads really go on here, but I'll give it a shot. Basically I've been dating a woman for the past 2-ish months and we officially broke up on Thursday. And honestly, if not for this subreddit there is a chance I would still be seeing her, and I didn't even start a thread. Let me explain. On paper things were pretty good. Her mid-30s, cute, tall, PhD, smashing it in her career, open to sexual exploration, lots of friends and family, keen to have kids. Generally pretty balanced on paper. I've been dating in London for a while and she ticked a lot of boxes. Me. For myself, I'm a 6 female, ex-rugby playing professional, no PhD and a bit of a beer belly but plenty going on to consider myself a catch. Thing is, for the past few months she's regularly been verbally abusive to me. Initially it started on the first date, which I let slide as I usually lay the humor on quite thick for the first date. Comments of, "You're stupid," and "You're ridiculous," and the odd, "You idiot," started and continued for pretty much the duration of our dating life. Whatever the date, drinks, meals, ping pong, axe throwing, walks, whatever, at some point a random comment would pop up. I was at a bit of a loss. How do you broach the subject of, "Please can you stop talking to me like shit?" Whilst I was trying to figure out how to deal with this, she randomly brought it up during a date, asking if her calling me an idiot was bothering me. Result, I thought. I said it was, she said she would stop, I felt relief and she chilled for around a week, before the comment started again. Everything I read on abuse, and I'd already started Googling this, seems to indicate that abusers escalate rather than start to chill. So what started today as an "you idiot" would one day become much worse. I then noticed that she'd punch me, or flick me, and the occasional physical threat. Now I found myself flinching. She is basically half my weight and I was subconsciously worried about her getting violent. I also began to argue the situation internally, both excusing and damning her behavior. Excusing her behavior. Maybe this is her upbringing, she's Irish, from a large family. Maybe it's just how she dealt with male cousins. I can overpower her so she's not really a threat. She will calm down 6 months in. Damning her behavior. She didn't live near male cousins, she grew up with her sister, and from what I've seen she is a literal pussycat. As in literally sleeps a lot due to a medical condition. She will escalate. She votes for the UK Feminist Party if a friend, family member, patient, she works in the NHS, or random woman on the street described my scenario, i.e. a boyfriend calling a woman an idiot. She would 100% flag that the man was an abuser. I'm pretty bulky, for her to do this to me indicates that she has probably done this to smaller guys and got away with it. She's given me shit for not going to her birthday party, even though we'd been dating for 2 weeks and I had a minor operation the day before. If she is an abuser, the longer I date her the bigger the downside. And #X200B. So I did my normal thing, set up a spreadsheet recording the verbal abuse she sent my way. The idea being that if she hit 50 comments I would call it quits. An arbitrary number, I know, but still it was a goal. So that's the scene being set. We were due to go to an event on Thursday and as I was slammed at work we ended up missing it. No communication through the day from me on the evening's plans, which meant she was pissed, so we met at a pub that evening to discuss. We had a chat about how being busy wasn't really an excuse and how it showed that I didn't really care about her or her feelings. This rankled a bit, as I'd been dealing with verbal abuse for a few months. I held my tongue and we parted ways after a drink, agreeing to cool off and reconvene later. As I was on the train home, she is in central London, I am out in the sticks, so plenty of thinking time. I pulled out my spreadsheet and counted the 31 instances of her dishing out abuse. And this is where you come in. I can't tell you how many threads I have read on here where the solution seems so obvious. True, I've rolled eyes when people say the generic, lawyer up, hit the gym. But, in general, views from here tend to be fair, reasonable and logical. I imagine what the collective wisdom of this site would say, and I think it would be a standard, dump her. I also thought about other, women-specific subreddits and what would happen if a woman popped up with this problem. And again I figured the answer would be, dump him. Honestly, it would probably be the same if a bloke flagged this issue. So, I did. One swift text whilst on the train to end it and explaining why. Flagging that she was annoyed about my screw-up today. I was annoyed about the 31 instances of abuse and we should call it a day. Text breakups aren't great, but I figured it was easier to just shoot it out, wait for any response and get on with our lives. Her response came through the following morning. She was also on board with the split and flagged my shoddy communication as being the issue. I had some slight annoyance that she denied consciously making the comments and flagged I should have raised my issues with her. This rankled a bit, as we'd previously discussed this where she said she wouldn't be derogatory, and she reverted to type. So either she forgot, which is crap, or was denying it to maintain her version of the truth. But, more worryingly, is that there doesn't seem to be a recognition that it was abuse. I.e., I wouldn't really talk to a partner about physical abuse because you just don't expect it in a relationship. But no worries, I'm out. In short, I think what I'm saying is that abuse just seemed to come out of nowhere and I took it with minimal fuss, before realizing it was a normal part of our interactions. I'm a pretty grown man and I didn't raise it with friends as it seemed so trivial. Honestly, if you're going through some shit, reach out to them. Failing that, pop a thread on here or just imagine what would Reddit would say, but honestly, once I started Googling, is this abuse, that's probably the point to get out. I'm pretty lucky in that we were really early in dating. If this reared its head with kids on the scene, or a few more months in, I don't know if I would have got out. I'm also thankful that she didn't know me well enough to know what sort of arguments, phrases would get my resolve to kick in. Basically it was a dash of luck and timing. Honestly, maybe she wasn't an abuser and was going to relax a few months in, but I'm happy to let someone else find out, whilst I enjoy the great weather in London. Anyway, cheers. I think you made the right call. Good for you. It's a deal breaker to me for sure if anyone calls their partner names, other than sweet nicknames. You did the right thing in breaking up and calling her out for abuse. For all her education, she was remarkably clueless about herself. I'm going to sound like a grumpy person here. You both sound really dysfunctional. She was abusive. You can't communicate all day that you're not going to show up for a date? If you ever want a lady and not a bulldozer like that one, you need to learn to be considerate. A nice lady won't deal with you not communicating expectations. Congrats on dumping her though. Sounds like you were right to break it off. But, you probably should work on your communication skills for future relationships. You both sound exhausting. Your relationship sounded very cold and businesslike, with all the spreadsheet, and, on paper, talk, didn't sound very loving from the way you described it. Abuse or not, probably good you ended it. Good luck on your next one. Don't hesitate to speak up for yourself when something makes you uncomfortable. You sound fairly level-headed, and obviously there's a way to express anything, but you being a large man doesn't change the fact that you're a person who deserves the same respect and consideration a woman would get, particularly in a romantic relationship. And it's normal that it's hard. Standing up to people we like is much harder to do than with people we don't care for. It takes practice, but it's worth it. Good on you for what does seem to be the right choice for you. I think you made the right call. The only thing I might suggest is being a little more proactive in your communication. You can be understanding, and still communicate your dislike. It shouldn't have to happen 31 times before the point is raised. 30F. I'm struggling to cope with mismatched libido with my husband, 30M. Throwaway, on mobile, longtime reader, commenter on this sub. Sorry for the rant. I have an amazing husband. He's exceedingly kind, hard-working, hilarious, and I'm intensely attracted to him. We have a lot of fun together, no financial troubles, busy lives. We've known each other for 12 years, but together for 7 and married for 4. The problem I have is that, despite all he says and insists, I'm fairly certain he isn't attracted to me or interested in having sex with me. Our sex life has never been consistent, and he has a much lower libido. But I've reflected a lot on this recently, and since I can remember, it's never anything I do or say that turns him on. He never looks at me if I'm naked, it's truly rare for him to compliment me, and it's just obvious I don't do it for him. Sex is always just something he spontaneously asks to do, or I'm pretty sure sometimes looks at porn beforehand, even though I've told him this isn't okay leading into sex, okay for private times. Anyways, it's not like I could walk out in sexy clothes and get him going, or initiate a blowjob on the couch, or climb on top of him and sex talk him until he comes to bed with me. Trust me, I've tried a lot over the years. He also has a masturbation habit that includes toys and prep and time. Edit. I've explained below, but this is anal play was trying to avoid homophobic, ignorant comments. But this isn't that he is scrolling to find the perfect video and using pocket pussies. He is easing himself into something more time-consuming to prepare for. Not that he necessarily does it more than sex, but it definitely means we won't have sex for days afterwards because he's not interested. He hid this from me for a while blatantly lying to me, which caused a huge blow-up in October that spiraled me into a depression I still haven't climbed out of. We've talked a lot since then, got therapy together and separately, and things are better. He includes me sometimes now in that act, and I really enjoy it. But I am still struggling over the betrayal of it, and the parts he does let me share are after a lot of time, over an hour, of him preparing alone because he doesn't want me to be part of it. The problem I have is that I really want him. I can barely stand snuggling him or him winking at me or showering together, something we do sometimes, because it takes every ounce of energy not to pounce on him. I fantasize about making out with him, which he doesn't seem to ever like doing, even though it's one of my favorite things. I daydream about him flirting with me or touching me and knowing that I aroused him, something that doesn't happen. I can't stop replaying sex we do have in my head, because it's phenomenal. It's the only thing I masturbate to. Sometimes I stare at him or feel my leg touching his on the couch and feel my body ache for him, and yet I know it's probably another 4 or 5 days, if I'm lucky, before he spontaneously propositions me again, and I feel my heart crunch up into a tiny ball. In summary, it's very specifically him that I want, not just sex, and not sharing it with him is very difficult for me. And when we do have it, holy cow, it's good. I mean, really special. Even he says so, and we've been having more fun when we do have sex recently, so I feel badly that I can't be satisfied with that. The thing that brought me here is he had the self-proclaimed, and evident by his reaction, best orgasm of his life 2 nights ago with me. I told him I'd really like to do that again this weekend, and he agreed. Yesterday I came home after running an errand and he was acting weird and said nothing was going on. Finally mentioned he masturbated and tried to tell me a bit about it, and it was all I could do to climb in the shower before breaking down completely. Why? After the best orgasm of your life with me, would you wait until the first moment I'm out of the house and do that alone? To repeat, this man is totally awesome, and due to some recent life changes leaving him can't be an option, even if I wanted it to be, which I don't. So you can throw out that advice if you'd like. I have on posts like this, but I am not interested in that advice, as I know what my options are there. I know about dead bedrooms, I'm super sex positive, I'm already in therapy, I know it's okay he isn't into sex, I don't want to change him. What I want to know is if there is a way, maybe through asking my therapist, to mourn the sex life you know you're never going to have and accept the good times you do have. I think of folks who have a spouse that had an injury or something that marked a new future for what is possible with their sex life. There is so much good in this marriage that I can't imagine my inability to not be exceedingly horny for my husband has to be such a black hole of pain for me. I don't want sex with anyone else but him. I just want that intimacy so badly I cry myself to sleep over it on a regular basis. I feel there is maybe was this sexual creature inside me who could be really sexy and do wild stuff in bed and say sexy things, but now I clam up and feel so terrified of ruining the moment because I don't know when I'll get it again. I feel awkward and ugly, not confident and charming. I'm sure that doesn't help, but honestly with the spontaneous nature and the fact that he likes the lights off I'm not sure it bothers him. We agreed I shouldn't initiate, it was making it hard on me to be rejected and him to be pressured, and so I just wait to be propositioned out of the blue, desperately hoping each night will be the night when I get to feel that close to him again, and feeling depressed when it's not. I guess mostly this is a rant, or an ask for a way to change my spiraling thinking, and to not feel broken and resentful and ugly and empty and rejected just because my husband isn't that into sex with me that night, or would rather masturbate alone. Because I have to live my life this way for a long time, hopefully, and crying myself to sleep for the next few decades doesn't sound so great. Any thoughts? TLR, my awesome husband isn't very interested in sex with me and I crave that intimacy so much it hurts. Any ideas on how to keep from being resentful and change the thinking I'm stuck in? Have you considered talking with your husband about seeing a sex therapist? You two clearly aren't on the same page when it comes to sex and intimacy, and it might help if you sought professional help for the issues you've been experiencing. If my partner would barely look at me but had an elaborate masturbation routine involving a bunch of time and porn and gizmos, I would be incredibly hurt. That's ridiculous. It's healthy to masturbate, but it sounds like he's more interested in having sex with himself than with you. I would sit him down and ask what he would ideally like his sex life to look like. If he's satisfied with what it is now, well, you have your answer. Could he be porn sick? If he needs porn, toys, and a bunch of other shit to get off, it sounds like he's desensitized. I would request that he cease porn consumption and perhaps masturbation for a period. Apologies, I didn't read the whole thing because it became apparent he has a porn addiction and his lack of desire in you is not about you primarily. As boys we can become so addicted to the dopamine rush of porn, and the fact he has prep time and toys signifies he has a significant issue. This can be healed and or broken, but not without a full commitment on his part to let go of it. Just like a drug or alcohol addiction, porn, masturbation is very powerful. If you'd like further recommendations for him, let me know. I had this issue with an ex-boyfriend. Turns out, he more or less came to the realization that he was a lot more interested in sex with men than he bargained for. He's gay now. If he's using toys for anal play and doesn't want you involved and has explosive sex with you on rare occasions, I'm sorry, but this is pointing to either him having a serious porn problem, or he's getting really curious about batting for the other team and is losing interest in you sexually. If the toys were something he liked in sex, you'd be included. There's a reason he is separating you from the anal play. You too need a counselor, but he may also need one individually. My sympathies. Sounds like you're in a difficult position. I have no quick fixes, no magic bullets. There is one possibility, which might be worth considering, as a way of breaking your spiraling thinking. I doubt it's worth very much. Might it be that your husband is a bit afraid of physical intimacy? His habit, so to speak, is safe, and familiar, and entirely under his control. With you, he has to perform. There are expectations he might not live up to. It's just safer, from his perspective, to withdraw into his shell. When you initiate, it's positively frightening. Even if this is spot on, it doesn't lead to any obvious solution, at least to my mind. Perhaps it will be of some use, or comfort, to you. Just throwing this out there, and I'm not shaming anyone. Could your husband be gay? This is sad, and I don't think I have much to offer. It's even sadder that you want to grieve your sexuality and let it die. That's basically what you are asking advice for. It's hard to give advice on such situations because it's like you are knowingly putting someone in harm's way. I get the reason you want to accept him for how he is, and that is, the warts and all, part of marriage. I can see the benefit for him, I just don't know if you can do it without losing a big part of you. I think you have implied it, you are already resenting him. This can creep into other areas. Since you are already working with a therapist, it's best to increase your individual sessions and see how that goes. I hope all goes well for you. He doesn't sound very awesome to me. More like he has no interest in even trying. He makes me fall asleep every night feeling like I am less than dirt, but he's so great. Are you sure he isn't gay, asexual on the down low? Like seriously. This can't go on for decades, or you can kiss this marriage goodbye. I don't think I could look my girlfriend in the eye if I was this neglectful and made her feel this unwanted. I, 30M. Am about to break up with my girlfriend, 31F. We were together for 11 years. Need advice. So, I'm breaking up with my girlfriend. We were together for 11 years. I need advice on how to manage this break. She will probably try to get back with me, but I think she has serious mental problems and have tried everything to help her and told her to get therapy, but she just keeps acting worse and worse. Yesterday she snapped on me for something so stupid. A thing that she should be happy about. Screamed in my face and threw a pillow in my head, and said me and my family can all go to hell, and proceeded to slam every door on her path to the bedroom. I was just sitting on the couch watching her in disgust. This kind of scenes happens once a month, in different variations. I'm not gonna get into it, but my family has done nothing but help her in every way possible, while her family never done anything for me. She is a person that cannot be talked to in a normal way, and will always end up crying or having a manic angry screaming rant when it comes to talking with me, man who helped her so much in her life. But the problem is, I'm always concerned for her well-being, and this time I'm sure I don't want to have to do anything with her anymore. Please, fellow Redditors, give me some useful advices on how to stay strong and avoid getting back with her, or just your stories, anything will help. Update. You guys have been so helpful and really made this all easier for me. Thank you all very much. A lot of good people on this thread, I'm amazed. For those asking, yes, we live together in a rented apartment. Right now we made a deal, we both stay in different parts of the apartment, and yesterday she tried to talk with me, started making a scene again, blaming me, saying I ruined her summer vacation, because the plan was to go together of course, and now because of the fight she said to her boss she is not going and the vacation plans are finalized. The scene ended quickly and not so dramatically as usual, and then I approached her again, Asked her if we can talk like normal people and explained to her that throwing stuff at me is the opposite of love, that I never did anything similar to her and that she can never take it back, and that's the thing I'll remember about her as long as I live. Asked her where she had seen that kind of behavior to think it's normal and that I hope her parents weren't acting like that when she was a kid. Also, I said there is no coming back this time and that somebody has to move from the apartment. She then broke down, started crying and said that she cannot believe what she is doing to me and that she doesn't deserve anything good in her life. I said I'm sorry that she thinks that way, but it's too late to cry and that I don't understand how can you cry and feel sorry for something you've done repeatedly. Then she asked me to stay in the living room with her to make her feel better, but I said this time there is no hanging out and that we'll stay separated. This morning while getting ready for work she was very sad. We didn't speak, but I'm sticking to my decision. I packed my bags so she knows she is one more outburst from not seeing me again. For those who worry about my safety, thank you a lot guys, but I'm safe. I'm a 6 feet 4 inches guy with a lot of experience in martial arts and a lot of street fights behind me. Unfortunately lived in a crazy town. In my younger days, she witnessed some of them and knows what I'm capable of. That just shows you how out of her mind she is when she throws stuff at me. When I just get in her face or grab her hands, she gets really scared. You can see it in her eyes, but goes on with her madness. But I am always aware of the situation, and if she tried something, I would be able to defend myself physically. Emotional abuse is the one that leaves the worst scars. Thank you again. You're making this fucked up situation a whole lot easier for me people. I've read every comment. Bless you all. You will feel so free and light when you get out, and that alone is worth more than anything. All the best to you. One of my best friends broke off her engagement with a guy who she loved, but she decided she didn't want to have to live around his emotional outbursts anymore. She thought she had to accept his mental illness because she loved him, and she did accept it and tried to support him as best she could. But eventually she realized it wasn't her responsibility and she wasn't obligated to be his support system. She left and she is 100% a different person. She's so confident and happy and has spent the past couple of years focusing on her own health and happiness. It couldn't have been a better outcome for her. Explain to her how you've been feeling and that you just can't be in the relationship anymore. Agree a period of time with no contact. Be it a week, 2 or more. So you both have time to think clearly. She may agree it's not what she wants either. My ex and I did the no contact deal for a month and by the end we both agreed that it was comfort, habit. Neither of us actually wanted to be in the relationship, but neither wanted to say it. The month really helped us both to clear our heads and really think about what it was we wanted. You don't know how much this means to me from a person that also spent that much time in an abusive relationship. Thank you. The crappy thing is, you dumping her could very well be the catalyst to her reaching out for help and getting better. Unfortunately, you probably won't be the partner to benefit from her getting well and becoming the woman you once knew. I recommend making as clean a break as possible. Not only will this be best for your mental health, I really believe it will be best for her. It is my impression that someone like her will grasp at any straw to perpetuate the belief she can win you back. You can't give her any of those straws. Also, inform your family and friends so they are aware you're making a clean break. Lastly, frame this as an I problem, e.g., I need to make a change because this isn't how I want to live, and not, you are crazy. If you make it about her, she will think she can change herself and win you back. If you make it about yourself, it will be harder to believe this. Good luck. I have been exactly where you are right now. Additionally, when I tried to leave she would threaten suicide. I didn't want her to hurt herself and I knew she wasn't right mentally. Our therapist actually told me I should leave and keep driving no matter what he said. I took her advice and am finally living life. The feeling is amazing and you deserve it. You are clearly a good person, but you've tried to help. There's nothing more you can do. Keep driving my friend. 11 years. SMH. Good luck. I doubt there's anything people can tell you that you don't already know or thought about. The execution is the only thing left for you to do. My girlfriend wants me to stay as her girlfriend even when she gets a husband in the future. Hi. I need some advice and opinions please. I'm a woman, and I've been in a secret romantic relationship with my current girlfriend for 5 years now. We're both in our early 20s. I love her and she loves me, our relationship is going well, we're also best friends. My girlfriend told me recently that in the future she wants to get married with a man so that she can have kids. She wants a normal life. to build a family with a man, and I understand this because we can't have children together since the romantic nature of our relationship is a secret for numerous reasons." Then after telling me this, she said she also wanted to keep me at the same time as her girlfriend. So it would be a relationship where she would officially be married to a man she would love, and behind the scenes the romantic nature of our relationship would stay a secret. No sex involved between me and her. In front of her future husband I would be her only best friend. It is cheating for me. What do you think? Since I'm not gay, I'm asexual and she's bisexual, and that I do not have sex with her. There are multiple reasons for that. She said it isn't like she's hiding her lesbian girlfriend from her husband, and therefore cheating on him. Even though I love her in a romantic way. So she would love a man and also love me. I would be special. She insinuated she will never love him like she does with me. I told her I don't want to be in polyamorous relationship later. I hope I don't come as selfish when I say that I don't want to share her. I consider her as the love of my life. To share her with a man would make me suffer. I feel like I won't be her priority anymore, and I would be so jealous. However, she said she wouldn't consider this as polyamorous since we're not a secret gay couple, as in no sex involved. She told me she's okay with me doing the same thing, having a husband, etc. She said she would suffer too, but she can do it. She would accept it because her love for me will never change. However, I think she's enough for me. I don't mind not having kids if she stays with me. I told her she can adopt. There are many solutions. She answered she can't because she wants a paternal figure for her kids. Her parents would love for her to marry with a man, to give them grandkids, so she also feel like she has a duty towards them, and I accept that. I told her by the time she find this man I want to break up with her, because it's either me or him, and I would not want to be in a romantic relationship anymore with her. She doesn't accept that fact well, and tells me that I'm only in my 20s, when I will be older I will want to have what she wants too, even though I feel like she's enough for me and I consider our relationship as very serious. Basically I'm making her choose between me and the children and husband she wants. I want to be enough for someone, to have someone dedicated to only me and not another person, even though I would still be loved the same as now. She's hurt by the fact I'm like, no way am I doing that, and that my love for her is challenged by something like that. Just imagining her married to another, it hurts my heart so much. I really don't think I can change my mind on this situation. Sorry for the long post. I feel like this situation is quite complicated. I want to know if what I feel is valid and if I'm selfish for not wanting what she wants because I sincerely love her so much. Edit. Thank you so much to everyone who answered. I have decided to break up with her today, and I want to stay as her best friend. I just told her, she isn't taking that well and I'm crying, but it's okay. I believe we can make it work. Anyone who truly loves you is not gonna want to keep you as their sexless romantic mistress. This girl has told you what she wants. A husband, a family, and a giant lie in which you pretend not to have romantic feelings for her while you play the best friend role in her perfect little life. You don't want that, and frankly it's selfish for her to expect you to. If you can't scale back your feelings to regular friends, I think you're going to have to cut ties for your own well-being. Sorry, Op. This sounds really difficult. You are allowed to set your own conditions for participation in any relationship. Whether or not other people choose to follow along is up to them. So if you were to tell someone that they have to juggle 3 bowling pins while whistling Yankee Doodle before you'll have lunch with them, that's up to you. If someone doesn't want to do it, that's on them. In this instance, you are deciding that you don't want to be a secret, and you don't want to be a side chick. This is completely your choice. You acknowledge that the secrecy is necessary for now, but that you don't want to continue to be a secret, or even involved, if she finds someone else. The fact that she wants you to do what she wants doesn't mean you have to. Does this help? It doesn't sound like she actually sees your relationship as a valid one, because of your asexuality, which is pretty messed up if I'm right. If she were married to someone else but still seeing you in the same way she is now, but that wouldn't count as cheating on her husband, then that would mean that her relationship with you would be platonic in her eyes? If that's the case, then that's how she sees your relationship currently. She sounds pretty awful and you deserve better. You deserve a whole relationship with someone who sees you as enough for them, and not just a side project to make them feel better about themselves. She's already planning her life out without you in it, but still wants you to hang on for the ride at the expense of your own life. You deserve to be loved the way you want. She wants something different from what you want, and that's okay. But what is happening is a recipe for lifelong resentment and animosity. You should step back from the situation and find the love you deserve, not just take what you can get and hope she sees it your way in the future. I don't know anyone who would be okay with that situation unless they're polyamorous. It seems like she wants to have her cake and eat it too, with a husband and family as well as a girlfriend on the side. It's very unfair to her husband as well, that she'll never love him like she loves you, and is just using him to have kids. Just end it now and find someone who actually wants a life with you. Your girlfriend doesn't get to dictate your feelings. If her plan is hurtful to you, then that means that your plan and her plan are not compatible. Nobody deserves for their feelings to be so callously dismissed. You are young. You can still find a love that will complement you and the plan for your life. She's asking you to be her chick with benefits on the side. Don't ever settle for being someone's second choice or side piece. Break it off now before she finds that probably already engaged to her husband and brings him home.